Hello, this is Akiko Sudano at StampinInTheMeadows.com in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. And I am, oops, there we go. Let's see here. Thank you so much for joining me. And today I am going to show you a card. I made a card with the new Happiness Abounds bundle. And this is using the same bundle that is on the cover of the new 2022-2023 annual catalog. And I've done mine a little bit different. And this is the inside of the card. But before I go into making the card, the Happiness Abounds bundle is part of the Hues of Happiness Suite. Hello, Debbie. Thank you so much for joining me. And so what I want to do before I start actually making the card is showing you the items that are in the suite. And the suite is basically consists of the Happiness Abounds bundle, which is a stamp set and dies, and it's got the glossy dots assortment, and these are just really, really pretty. And then the Hues of Happiness Designer Series paper. And you can get all of these in with one order number. And I think that that's a good way, especially if you love flowers. This is just a wonderful, wonderful set. Thank you so much for joining me. Hi, Karen and Chris. Thank you so much. This is the stamp set, and you've got all of these beautiful, and they're outline floral images. You've got the little bouquets here, and then you've got two different styles of leaves, and then four different flowers. And I think these are all various kinds of roses flowers from various angles and stuff. But they're on the smaller side, but they really I think they go very, very well with some of the older line, especially the rose line stamps from the past. I think that you can bring these in with it. And what I like about the outline images is that you can stamp them in and then embossed with gold and with silver, and then colored on the inside, or even with black, and then using a watercolor kind of technique, doing it either on watercolor paper as well. But these images would be beautiful with that. I stamped them in for my card today. I stamped them in Memento Tuxedo Black, and I used my Stampin Blends to color them, trying to do a little bit of shading on the inside of the card there. But there's a lot of different techniques that you can use with these flowers, with these outline design flowers. And then you've got all of these beautiful, beautiful sentiments, and it's in a pretty script handwriting kind of font. And you've got the birthday, the best wishes, the friend, the thank you, and then the congratulations. And then you've got some nice sentiments that will go on the inside of your card as well. So I think this is a very, very nice complete set of stamped images, and I think that this is going to be you can't go wrong with this stamp set. And then here are the dies, and for each of these each of the floral images and the leaf images, you've got a coordinating set of dies so that you can cut the outline of stamp the image and then cut it out easily with a die cutting machine. And then you've got this fun little texture die, which gives you kind of an eyelet lattice kind of look, which I think is really kind of cute, and I've used that on today's card. And then also you've got these edge dies, which give you the look of like a spiral bound notebook and or a slotted thing. So these are really different and unique. And I think that you can use these with almost any stamp set. And if you look at the cover of the catalog, this this white panel is cut with the spiral bound image on the side here. So I think that that's a nice set of dies that you've got. And then you've got, you've got your basic where it cuts all of the outline images, and then a couple of extra special ones as well. So the dots are they're called glossy dots, but it's like they have an iridescent iridescent shine to them and stuff. And I think that I when I pulled the purple ones off for my card today, for my sample card, I did notice that they have that mirror sort of background, so that I frequently, if I use a tool to pull them off the plastic, I end up popping off the plastic instead of the backing for these dots. But they're beautiful and they're so colorful, and I just love these colors. So then let me go ahead and show you the designer series paper, and this is all floral designer series paper. And this is the one that this panel is the one that I've used on my sample card for today. And then it's got the top of it has the flowers in blues and purples, and then on the bottom it's got the flowers in pinks and oranges. Let me give you the colors on in this design DSP pack. They are Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Fresh Freesia, Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, Mango Melody, Melon Mambo, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, and Pool Party. So you've got a lot of bright colors and different shades and stuff. So this is kind of an all-over floral panel. And then the back of this has got all these the same colors with kind of a stripe with different plus signs or X's and stuff on the back, just kind of a pattern sort of look. And then this is another panel where you've got all of the different colors, and they're going in different. Hi, Rose. Yes, it's beautiful paper. Thank you so much. In different against a Night of Navy background, and this is also would be pretty. And then this to me. I think this is the panel of paper that they used for the catalog cover card for the background, where it looks like you've got different, like an artist palette with different brush strokes of the different color, and this is just really pretty, and this is a theme that they have in a lot of the different papers that they have here. This is the small flower with the leaves, a 5-petal flower, and then here's some more with thinner stripes in the primary colors of the DSP pack. And then we've got this panel of paper as well with some of the smaller flowers. And then the back of this has got your Night of Navy background with lots of different colorful flowers. And this would be a pretty background too for a card. And then you've got these panels, and each of these flowers, this is in purples and blues. Each of these flowers and the leaf clusters are, you can cut them out with the coordinating dies from the Happiness Abounds stamp set. And so because of that, I think that if you're going to get this, you have to get the designer series paper with the stamp bundle, because that really gives you the maximum flexibility. And also, I don't know if it's this, I think it's the next pack, but you can see that the flowers for the card that's on the cover of the catalog are cut from the DSP. So this is in purples and blues, and then the back of this has got your artist palette purples and blues. And then this is the one with pinks and yellows. And you've got your leaves again. And then in the back, you've got your artist palette with the pinks and yellows. Now, one of the things that I also want to mention about this that that you can do with this also, and I haven't done this yet, but I'm dying to try it, is the way I have stamped these flowers on basic white and then colored them with the blends. I believe you can also stamp an outline in either a an embossed look, or stamp it in like a basic black, and then die cut the flowers with any of these. And then you've got the texture from you've got the color, and you've got a texture as well. But I think that would be another option that you could do with the designer series paper. So and the stamp set. So it's a good thing. Now the stamp set is a photopolymer stamp set. So so that's good. So let's go ahead and get started with the card. And I said that for my sample card, I used that one panel of designer series paper with that one panel of the designer series paper that had the two different colorways. So for my sample card, I'm using the blues and purples, and I've got my card base is Pool Party, and my mat is Gorgeous Grape. But for the card that I'm going to be doing today, I'm going to be using a So Saffron card base and a Melon Mambo mat. So I'm going to with the pinks and yellows portion of that designer series paper. So I'm going to go ahead and start by adhering this, and you can see the different plus signs on the back, the X's on the back. I'm going to adhere the designer series paper, the floral paper, to my Melon Mambo mat, and I'm just using liquid glue with that. And so what I did was I cut this in a 4-inch panel, 4-inch strip of the designer series paper, and then cut off my background pieces with that. And then I ended up wanting to mat this, so I ended up cutting an extra 1/8 of an inch off of the background mat here, so that I could have the dark solid color cardstock mats underneath that. And I will have in my blog tomorrow, I will have all of the sizes of cardstock and designer series paper and on my blog tomorrow, so that you can recreate this if you want, and you'll know what sizes of everything that I used. So I'm going to adhere this, the designer series paper panel, to the mat, to the card base, to the So Saffron card base with dimensionals. So I put that on. I'll put this down. There we go. And I have the top folding card base here, and I'll just center this on my card base, and then that's beautiful just by itself. So I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to show you the background panel here. Now I used that pretty lattice die to cut out this panel of basic white cardstock, and you can see how I think you can see the lattice stitching, and then the cutting out of some of this, and some of the flowers and leaves just come completely out, which gives you the open look. But then some of them are just partially cut out, so you can, if you want, you can fold that up. But I'm going to just leave that plain, and then I've cut another scallop rectangle using the scallop contours dies, and I'm going to adhere this to the inside so that it's kind of a white on white with the extra little texture. And I'm just going to put liquid glue in the large open spaces here and put that in there. Put it on the inside, and that way I've got a little bit of texture with my background of my for my flowers. I'll put the flowers on top of that. So I cut this panel out first, the basic white panel, and then I went and then I did the die cutting of it, and then I did a little bit of trimming just to make sure. I wanted to set this up so that I would have it kind of centered on the inside of the panel, so that you could still see the stitch edging on the thing right on the scallop rectangle. And so that's like this, and then I'll take this and adhere this to the card base with the Designer Series paper, and I'll do that with liquid glue. And let's see here, try to get this straight. And kind of I decided to put it off to the side a little bit, and that gives me some room for, does that look straight? I think that looks straight. And that gives me room to put my my label right here. Okay, so this is all ready. So then I used, I have my panels for cutting out, for stamping and cutting out my flower, and I just used, like I said, I just used Memento Tuxedo black ink, and ink up the stamp. Get this inked up good. Stamp one. It gives you a pretty nice image there. And then to the second flower. And again, I think that this would be really pretty stamped in Versamark and then embossed in any color, silver, gold, black. And then you can color it however you want. Watercolor. Okay, and then with the leaves, I have this. There's two different sets of leaves, and I chose the double leaf cluster, and I have 3 of those, and I stamped them in tuxedo black again. And I have 3 of them. Oops. Let me ink that up again. Make sure I got that good. Make sure I didn't wipe anything off. There we go. So I've got 3 leaves and then 2 flowers. And that's basically the stamping that I did for the front of the card. And then with this, then I colored. I colored my flowers. For this one, I'm going to be using Melon Mambo Stampin Blends and Daffodil Delight for the flowers, because that's the colors. I tried one in Flirty Flamingo also, let me show you, and I didn't quite like the way that looked with the rest of the colors, so I decided to go with the Melon Mambo, which picks this up, and the Daffodil Delight. And then for my leaves, I am using Granny Apple Green, I believe. Yeah, Granny Apple Green. And for the centers of the flowers, I used my dark smoky slate. So I'm going to go ahead and I can color the centers of the flowers as it is. And the smoky slate, I felt like that was good, and I still got some of the, it didn't completely obscure the black stamping, so you did see a little bit of texture, but you still have a dark look. And then also I'm going to bring out my color lifter. So for the leaves, I did do some blending here. This is the light one, and I started. Oops, that's the bullet tip, and I like to use the brush tip, and I started by just applying the color to the bottom, the light color to the bottom, the entire leaf, and then color use the dark color. Now, I don't know if you can see this. I think I need to get some new, yeah, you can't see this very well, but you can see it as I go to color it, because I'm not getting a good color with my brush tip. So I think that means that my Stampin' Blend is starting to run dry. So if I cover that end and I use the bullet end, I can still get I can still achieve my my objective. And this tells me that it's my blend is starting to get dry, and it needs to be, I need to get a new one. So I have Granny Apple Green Stampin' Blends on my shopping list for my next order. But that's at first when I saw that starting to happen, I wasn't sure what whether I had a defective blend or not, but it's just that I've been using that one a lot, and it's kind of running out, so I need to replace it. But I can, until everything comes in, I can still have I still have some color left in there, and just use my bullet end, and I can get my shading. Now, the other thing about this is I've compared, so that's the way I did my leaves. This is the dark one. I basically did one side with, did the whole thing with the light, then put the dark blend on one side, and then just kind of blended that together. And so I did that with one leaf at a time. You could do both of them at the same time, and I don't know if you can see the there is a line, but there is I guess a not quite so blended line on the larger leaf there. But you know what? I think it still looks good with you can see the designer series paper in the background. You've got some, like in this petal right here, you've got definite lines between the different shades of the color. So it's that's that's okay. And I have other leaves that I previously did, so I'm gonna just put the leaves aside for now. And for my flowers, and for this card I'm going to be using the Melon Mambo, and I am using a similar kind of technique, but I was looking at this, and I think that you don't need to be quite so you don't need to be worried too much about the blending, but the areas where the petals are folded over, I did that with the light, and then did my other petals with the light, and then used of course by the flower centers, the center of the flower, put more of the darker shade, and then where the petals go over, add a little bit more of your darker blend, kind of as a shadow, and then kind of blend it together. Let's do another one. Let's do this petal right here. And this is my darker blend, so this is going to be in the shadows. Any place where you have a petal that's overlapping, you're going to be a little bit darker. And any place where the petal folds over, it's going to be a little bit of a shade. So you can, so that's where I put the darker shades, and then just kind of use the lighter color to blend it all together. And then all the backs of my petals that are folded over, I did that in the lighter shade. Now, one of the things, especially with the Melon Mambo, is that I felt like there wasn't enough contrast between this petal that flipped over, so I just kind of go over it a little bit with the color lifter to remove some of the color. So that way I've got, this is a light one too, so I'm going to do this one, and I'll put the color lifter on there to get a lighter color. And this is the dark, so I'm going to do this center one and dark. And the rest of this in the lighter color. And I find myself having to look back and make sure that I'm using the light versus the dark. And then just where this is folded over, just add a little bit more of the color lifter. With some of the blend colors, you don't need to add. I didn't, when I did the pool party one, I didn't use the color lifter. But as you play with things and you see what how it looks, you make that determination if you want a little bit of more contrast. So here, this petal is over this petal. I'm coloring this petal, and so I'm going to, just on the edge here, color the dark Melon Mambo. Mix this up a little bit with the light Melon Mambo. Kind of blend the colors, and that this is going to be just the plain light Melon Mambo, so I'll just brush the color on here. And then I think I'm going to get a little bit, add more texture to this petal, so add a little bit of the color lifter there, because that's such a big area. So I did all of this in Melon Mambo. I'm not going to finish coloring it because I've already prepared some so that you wouldn't have to watch me color forever. But I have one in done in the Daffodil Delight, And then this one is done in the Melon Mambo. And I basically continued coloring with my Stampin Blends and with my color lifter, just like I did here with to get the entire flower. So I did this, and then after I colored them, then I went and I took the corresponding die and I cut them out with the corresponding die. So let me pull the rest of the leaves that I did, and here we go. Here we go. So I have my leaves and my two flowers. Now for my label, I have a 3/4 of an inch wide strip of So Saffron, and I used the Banners punch. This is the Banners punch that has the two different. This is the Lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch that has the two different kinds of edges that you can cut, and I used this one for this card, and I started out with a strip that was 2 3/4 of an inch, and trimmed both edges to get my label, and then I stamped it with the Friends stamp from the stamp set, and this was easy to do because it is a clear stamp. And the one thing that I would remind you is that you've got these beautiful long tails at the end and at the beginning of your sentiments, and it's a little bit tricky, because I think if you have a tendency to want to put these two even, and that makes your sentiment a little bit crooked. So you want to just check and see that the letters are lined up straight when you go to put them down. Now, since I've got a double piece of cardstock on here, I'm going to use a dimensional on this side of the label. I'm going to put my label on, and I'm going to use a dimensional, or my little piece of dimensional on the one side here, and use a glue dot on this side, and that will be resting on top of the beautiful lattice. But I'm going to put the label on first and apply that with a glue dot and dimensional. And let's put this on. Kind of on the bottom, and the basic thing is that I want to make sure that my label doesn't go off the card here. And then I'm going to adhere my flowers with dimensionals. So I have my little half dimensionals, and I am going to first put these on so that I can arrange them, and then I'll stick my leaves underneath with glue dots. So I'm going to put my half dimensionals kind of towards the center of the flower here, so that I still have room to tuck my leaves in. And I'm going to put this in such a way that the two flowers kind of overlap. So this guy, I want to keep this part of free from dimensionals, but put one down on that end, and again focus on the center here. So I've got my dimensionals here on my flower, so I can move those around a little bit. I've got my label here, and it's going to stay there. So now the next thing I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to stick my tweezer, hold my tweezer on my leaf cluster, and pull my glue dots and apply my glue dots to the top of my leaf here. And then I can just arrange this in such a way that my leaf, it's okay for the leaf to go over the white part, the pretty scallop box, and here I can go on the on my over my label as well. So let's do another one. And we'll stick this one over on this side. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. So I've got these two leaves planted, so I can go ahead and put, actually I guess I could have glued this guy down first, adhered this first, pull my covers off. Stick that right there. That'll be good. And then the yellow one. I think I'm going to go ahead and adhere this, and I'm going to put a little glue dot on this corner here where it's going to overlap the melon mambo flower. Is it right there? It's up here. Okay. Right there. Okay. Oh, it was more over here. All right. Let's see. We'll stick it there. And pull off the covers. Put this on. Yeah, I want to make sure that it that edge. There we go. And then this final leaf we'll put down here. Put the glue dot on the top here. Turn this over and then just tuck this under here. That looks good. That's fine. So you can see I put the leaves kind of hanging off, but I've got the two big, beautiful flowers on here. So the final touch for this card is, and I'm just using 3 of these dots. I think that you can put as many as you want. And I'll do this one here. I think, let's do this one up here. These are just really pretty. The dots, and then no, where do we put it? Let's do it right here. I think I like that best. There we go. So 3 dots there. So then the front of my card is finished. Okay, so now let's get to work on the inside. And I have my basic white panel, and I have my strip of designer series paper that I'll put on the inside. And I've got my sentiment, and you can see on the card, my sample card, I used that beautiful "You are wonderful in every way," and you can see how it's got that the tails on. That is just such a pretty sentiment. But I'm going to put this one on here. So this is just a nice little friendship card, and keeping it simple, stamping this in Memento Tuxedo black ink. It's a very, very thin script. There we go. We're good. Just stamp it on the side here. And then this is one of the little flower bouquets. And this inked up. Stamp it next to the sentiment. Cover everything up. And then color the flowers, and I'm going to be using the bullet tips to color the flowers, color the centers in the smoky slate again, and do each of the colors. This is a light melon mambo, since these are my let's make sure this is the one I'm going to be doing, so I want to make sure that it coordinates with this. And these little bouquet images are really sweet and cute. Let's do one in this is the dark flirty flamingo. Do dark daffodil delight, make the big flower in yellow. And let's go ahead and bring in some of the purples. This is the fresh freesia, purples and blues. And it just doesn't want to. Oh. I'm going to use the brush tip because the bullet tip doesn't want to come off on that one. And then the final one, we'll do this in Pull Party, because that's the that was the colors of the designer series paper. So it's so many different colors. Now let's finish it off. And this is the light granny apple green. Where's my dark granny apple green? Finish off by giving the leaves a little bit of color. That was a little crooked. And the last one. There we go. And add the designer series paper strip on the bottom here. Oops. Let's turn this over without making the glue mess even more messier. There we go. And adhere this to the inside of the card, and I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal to do this, and then we are done. So I hope that you consider getting this beautiful bundle. The new catalog ordering will start on May 3rd, and that's just a couple more weeks. If you don't have a catalog yet and you're interested in getting some, I have sent away my customer catalogs, and I have some extras. So if you're interested, give me a call or send me an email, and I will be happy to send you one. You can find all my contact information on my blog. And again, tomorrow I will be posting the sizes for this cardstock and all the different steps, the different cardstock cuts, the different colors that I used. I have all of the cardstock cuts. I won't be able to have all the links to all the products since this is a lot of the new products. So, but this is my card today. Thank you so much for watching me and joining me, and I hope that you enjoy this. And everybody have a happy Easter tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. See you next week. Bye-bye.